try to get this program started. So we know we're the last stop between you and seeing your son again. So we just want to welcome you here today to our move-in. My name is Barb Nowogorski. I'm the Director of Advising at the college. And on behalf of everyone here at the college and our student success team, we want to welcome you here today. What we want to do in this time that we're with you is just introduce you to some of the people involved with your son's education while they're here and the services that we offer. We really pride ourselves on offering extensive services to our students and working with them and the families to make sure that their educational journey here will be a success. So we're just going to kind of be turning it over to different people. Nick Costanzo, one of our advisors, will just be working the web page there just to show you the different parts of the web, and you can access that at any time to really recap some of the things we're just going to go over quickly today. So we'll start by, I'll introduce our college president to you. He'll give you his welcoming remarks. President Marsha.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming in today. This is one of the very exciting days for us. I can tell you that when we get to commencement at the end of the year, the day afterward, we all sigh this big sigh of relief. It's like, they're gone. Thank God. And then about a week later, we start missing everybody. And so this is exciting. We, as Barb said, we work real hard to help your sons, in this case, grandsons, nieces, nephews, whoever you have here with us, to be successful. Our goal is for everyone to achieve whatever their dream is, whether it is to go on to a D1 program, to finish their degree, to go somewhere, to do something. Whatever that dream is, that's our goal, to help them achieve that. And I can tell you that we're going to work exceptionally hard. We're going to work hard on the football field in the next few weeks through camp, and then through the season. We're going to work real hard in the classroom because we know that that is the real key to their success. That if we can't get them to that point where they're maintaining their academic eligibility, it doesn't do any good how well they do on the field. So we're going to keep them focused, and we're going to work hard, and hopefully you'll be part of that process too. So if you get those phone calls and complaints that we're working them a little harder, just dig right in and say, that's good. That's good. Stick with the plan. We'll talk to you about the support services that are available. I can tell you again, we want nothing more than for them to be successful, but they've got to want it more than we do. We can't force them to learn, we can't force them to get up, we can't force them to go to practice. They've got to want it. And the fact that they're here with us, that they're part of this program, though, tells me that they can. There is no student that has come to us today or comes to us at any time that can't be successful. We know that. We work hard, as I said, and we provide the support services for them. And we try and do it with a smile on our face. So you'll see a lot of people here. We had a great team. You saw a lot of them, including cheerleaders, veterans, staff, members of our team, coaches who are here to help move in today and to transition. I can tell you that's a process that's repeated for all of our students. We really do like to feel like a big family here. And again, it's exciting. We're thrilled to be here. So I'm going to let people take you through the rest of the information. If you have any questions for us, if you have any questions for me, I'll be here at the end as well. Just please grab me and we'll be happy to help. So thanks again, and we'll see you down the path.
Okay, I've seen a lot of you are already grabbing some of the information that we have at the back tables there. Everyone who's going to come up and talk to you today probably has some information at those tables about the different support and the different programs that are available for their offices. So as the program wraps, if you haven't already had a chance to get the information, please feel free to take whatever you need. Your sons will be getting that same information when they're in their classes, but feel free to take it. It never hurts for somebody else to be reading it. So now we will turn over to our Director of Athletics, Joya Whittington, who's going to introduce some of her staff.
I'm not going to use the mic. Can y'all hear me? I coach too, so I definitely don't need a mic. I just want to bring Mr. Barone up. I'm going to bring him up in a second. That's Mr. Barone in the black shirt. He's the academic advisor for the football team. He's a key piece to this puzzle, okay? So it's good for you guys to see his face. And in the back, that's my assistant athletic director. That's Eric Larson. He started like 12 days ago. So I got him like doing circles around campus. I'm gonna give you guys, there's two important things I wanna talk to you about. One is our culture and who we are and why we exist. And two, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some statistics. Everybody loves statistics. Your sons, whoever you brought here today, relatives, nephews, whatever it is, they love stats, right? So, a big thing with stats. Last year we were 11 and 0. Okay, last year we won a bowl game. Last year we had a Coach of the Year. We had NJCAA All-Americans, Players of the Year on both sides of the field. Okay, those are great stats. We could go back for years and I'd be here forever if I did. But last year was a huge year for us. But I want to tell you the important facts. 32 NJCAA academic All-Americans. Okay, of 122 players, right? For the past 3 years that I've been here, this program has graduated their players with a 3.0 cumulative average. Okay, so that means everybody. Alright, that's not just our starters, that's not just our top players, that's 122 players. Our cum average is right around the 3.0 or above. Those are the important stats. Okay, Mr. Barone is going to talk to you about our academic structure. Alright? From a cultural perspective, academics are first. Everybody you just talked to, that's the reason why we're here. Okay? Discipline is next. It's going to get really tough for them. That's good. Just like President Volk said, when they call and they're like, Mom, Dad, Uncle, friend, I don't know if I can do this. We need you on the other line to say, yes you can. Yes you can. Because if you don't, and you co-sign with the complaints, they're not getting any better. They're not going to get out of here. They're not going to graduate. They're not going to get to that Division I level. 2% of NCAA athletes, 2%, okay, actually make it to the NFL. 2%. So their work ethic, the culture here, it's uncommon. It can't be normal. It can't be like every other school. And there has to be a sacrifice piece to this as well, right? They got to sacrifice their social lives. And I know it's driving you guys crazy, man. Everywhere we turn, it's that phone, it's that phone, it's that phone. It's that social life. They're going to quickly realize as we get into the rest of this week, they're going to have to sacrifice that social life if they want a chance to be in that 2% or better, or to get to that NCAA level. And that's what our culture is all about. Academics, discipline, and sacrifice. And they're going to hear it over and over and over and over again. And some of them are going to get it. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure most or all of them get it. Okay? But we're very real. We're not going to be perfect. We're definitely going to make mistakes. Okay? We're human beings. Our staff's going to make mistakes. Our coaching staff's going to make mistakes. But we are very authentic. And we'll own up to that. And we're going to do everything we can to put our student athletes first. So I want to be a resource to you guys. My office is in the student union. If you need anything, feel free to shoot me an email, anything you need to do. Coaches know how to get to me. They're obviously going to be your front line. And everybody that you talk to today, this is the team that you hopefully are going to see in 2 years as they cross that stage. We're really excited. I think, was this the first time we ever did a football parent session? Sort of. So this is amazing. The support in this room is key for us as well, because we can't do it alone. All right, so just thank you guys for coming here today, and just everybody that you talk to is key. Everybody's a piece. It's huge. They're a huge piece of this puzzle. So just listen. Any questions you have, fire away. Have a great day. Have a safe trip home. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rick Barone, B-A-R-O-N-E. I'm the academic advisor for every one of your sons. Thank you for trusting your sons with Lackawanna College. And I can tell you that after doing this for a period of maybe about 7 or 8 years now, the successes that we have in the classroom, that determines where your sons go in the future. When Joya said 2%, I look at it that 100% graduate with an associate's degree and make a life for themselves. That's my goal. I will counsel them socially, academically. I will let them vent to me when they're frustrated. And I have a tremendous amount of patience. At 5 o'clock today, the echo in this room is terrible, by the way. At 5 o'clock today, I'm going to meet with all of them. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell them about college. We're going to have a wonderful conversation. There's not going to be one negative that comes out of my mouth. Because I always look at the glass half filled. They're all going to have my telephone number. I tell them my phone goes on at 6 a.m. and it ends when the Yankee game is over. And I shut it off. I'm a die-hard Yankee fan, and what's ever happening now in Boston, if you love the Yanks, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be okay. So my goal will be to make them feel comfortable. And I guarantee it's always been this way. By the end of September, the beginning of October, with my consistency every day, they start to know that I'm not a BSer. And they know I really do care about them. And it takes about a month. By being consistent, I'll go into classrooms. Not to observe a new teacher, but I'll sit down and I'll walk up to somebody, how are you doing today? What Lackawanna College has done, here's what they've done. They have put the coaches in the right spot. Great coaching staff. No, this is not any particular order. The faculty is very, very easy to get along with. All of our offices that we have, financial aid, business, student support, it's a place that cares about kids. So you can go to a big time school with 150,000 people, they won't know who your son is. We'll know. We take the time to get to know them. They hired me, an old guy, not that old. I don't look that old, right? Anyway, as an academic, the last piece was, let's get our boys from the football program to where they need to be, wherever it is. Let's have them graduate. So we did. They put, everything is in place for your son to make it. There's only one thing that will prevent them from making it. And I'm going to be very honest with you. If they take home and they bring their home life here, can't happen. They have to go through a process of maturing, accountability, understanding what's important and why. They have to understand the difference in the vocabulary, whether they're on tile or wood, or whether they're on turf or grass. I'll help them through that. I will do everything I can to have them be successful. And I'm proud to say that we are successful. We have done things that your sons are going to be much better leaving than they were when they came in. And you have to trust us. At 5 o'clock, when I give every one of your sons my phone number, if you sign the FERPA, where I can speak with you and let you know how your son is doing, if you want to call me, have your son give the number, you call me, and I'll give the best summary as I possibly can. Because you need to know. If you don't need to know, that's fine too. But trust me to help them. It's going to be a process. Believe me when I tell you, it's not going to be easy, but they'll do it. Do you have any questions? I don't want to get into specifics on academics now and credits because I don't want to overwhelm you with that stuff, but we take care of it. The student affairs, myself, we know what credits, who's in developmental, who's in bridge courses, and all the stuff that can help them succeed. Does anyone have any questions of Mr. Barone? And parents call me Rick, students call me Mr. Barone. We're good? You look good. Yes?
Can you sign up for the first on the student portal?
Yes. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Okay.
That's not my area, but a good question. Anything else?
The perfect segue.
It's a perfect segue. So Mr. Barone is done. God bless you. Have a safe trip home.
screen. I apologize for those of you down at that end who may not be able to view that, but what he's going to be doing throughout the presentation today is just sharing the information that is right on the home screen on our webpage, our www.lackawanna.edu, and it's the parent page. And as we're going to continue through the program today, we'll just be referencing different areas. So when you do have that chance, if you really can't view it today, just feel free to go in there and see whatever, it'll kind of update you with everything we talked about today. So as someone asked about the FERPA and the regulations, we figured our next speaker then should be the person who's responsible for that. So I'm introducing our Registrar, Theresa Scopelliti.
All right.
Hi, I wasn't born to use the microphone, but there was quite a bit of an echo, so hopefully this is better. My office, just so everybody knows, is the keeper of the academic record. So everything in your student file, in your son's file, ends up in our office. Everything from their very first admissions application to their very final graduation application. So I will be going into the college 101s and talking to your sons about all of the services in our office. But for today, probably the most important thing that we need to talk about is with what Mr. Barone referenced, the FERPA guidelines. So just so you know, it's equivalent to the HIPAA in the healthcare world. So we cannot talk to any parent or guardian at all about your son's progress, whether it be academic or financial or anything like that, unless the student signs off on it's called a third-party agreement. If they allow us to do that, then we can speak to you. And it's a very easy process, and I love the instructions over there for you to share with your son, but they have to sign off on it. So just so you know, you can sign all you want, and it won't do you any good. They have to go into the portal, sign off, and say, yes, I give permission for you to speak to my mom, my dad, my guardian, my spouse, whoever it is. And then you'll get an email that'll come directly to me. I'll put the approval through, and then you'll be able to see whatever they allow you to see. They can sign off if they only want you to see their academics, so you can see their transcript, their grades, or they can sign off for you to see their finances, their bills. When I have 2 children in college, and as soon as they have the first question about financial aid, they signed on that dotted line, and then I was good to go. So again, but they have to do that, and the instructions are there. A couple other key points: we will verify enrollment. So if anybody needs verification that your son is a full-time student, to stay on insurance, sometimes it's for health care. There's lots of other reasons why they may need verification of that. That comes through our office also, so they can come in and do that form, or again, they can get everything right off the website. And then the last piece that I want to talk to you about is graduation. We have one ceremony in May, but we have a lot of students that finish up in August and a lot of students that finish up in December, and then of course the traditional May graduates. We do confer them, and if somebody finishes in the fall, we'll send you their diploma, and the graduation date will be on there. But just so you'll know, there is only one graduation ceremony in May, and the last piece is that we notify every student as soon as they apply for graduation if there's a problem, if they're going to be in class short, if there's any issues. We send them an email, we send them a letter, and we reach out and say, please get in touch with our office. And if they do that, 9 times out of 10 we can get something fixed right away, and we can get them in that class that they may need. But if for some reason, we do allow them to walk one class short in the ceremony, and a lot of students may just come up that one class short, finish in the summer. So we allow them to walk in the May ceremony so that they don't have to come back next year. But the point I'm trying to make is your son will know if he is short. So if we allow them to walk, and even though they walk across that stage and shake President Volk's hand, if they know that they're one class short, they are well aware of that. So hopefully, that won't be the case. We get everybody in the classes they need, and they'll be good by the time they graduate. But again, they will know that. So does anybody have any questions for me? No? Okay, we're down at Suite 111. We'll be down there for a little bit this afternoon, and you can share that with your son. Thank you.
Okay,
Good afternoon. Nice to see some of you again. Bumped into you earlier and your son came down to get their ID. I'll make my presentation hopefully informative, but most importantly, brief. All right. Security at Lackawanna College. Your dormitory that your sons are moving into have swipe protection. They have staffing almost 24/7. We have a uniform officer sitting at the front desk from 3 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning to make sure that people who belong to the building are in the building. There's 3 RAs, resident advisors, who are living in that building. And we have security officers, some of them you met today. The uniformed police officers, we're here 24/7, we patrol the campuses, we walk through the buildings. So we have a very tight-knit organization. We have a pretty good reputation with the students. Most of the students find our officers approachable. Some of the officers have already made some friends with their sons. So we hopefully that will grow with time. Also, we have a working relationship with the city of Scranton, their police department, their public works department, all the other services they have. We also work with the local hospitals and social services. So we have a lot of services both in-house, that you're going to hear about my co-workers here, and a lot of services surrounding the building. Again, we are in an inner-city location, so we have to have some other concerns. We have a lot of closed-circuit TV. We have a lot of work with the other agencies. What we don't have a lot of is parking. Somebody put it in the background. We cannot offer your students a vehicle parking spot. Now, you've heard the fact that your son is going to be very busy. He will not need a vehicle. We do have arrangements if he needs to go to Walmart to pick up some items he forgot. We do have a system in place where he can sign up, we'll get him to Walmart, get him back on campus. We'll have a walking tour later on this afternoon to walk downtown, show you the services that are in town. Getting back to parking, we have reached out to all the local commercial parking lots. The information is on the desk over there. It is an extra fee. We always look around to make sure that we can find extra parking. And we have grown with our parking, but so is our population. So right now, no resident student will be able to park on college property. As you take a look over there, you find a small booklet that we hand out to your sons. It has our telephone number on the back. It has some ideas of how to be safe in a college setting. Please, pick up one for yourself if you want to read it. One last thing, I'll be up on the weighing system. Your son will have an opportunity to sign up for a free texting system. If there's an emergency on campus, if it snows in the Great Northeast. Anybody from Wayne County, Susquehanna County? Do people from Virginia? You do get snow up there. Good. They sign up for this, they put their mobile telephone number in, they put their email, they'll get notified of any closings, any weather problems, any type of event that's happening on campus that might affect the safety. If you move up just a little bit further, again, these are all the things that we do for the college, but we also have a working relationship with the other universities, and we put out on this timely warning. If something happens in a nearby campus or on our campus, we share that information both in our house and to the local community. We have a medical college behind us, we have the University of Scranton up the street, we have Maryland University, we have Johnson College, we have a lot of other educational institutes in our area, and we have a working relationship with all of them. Thank you. Oh, we also have an anonymous reporting system. If somebody sees something, we want to hear about it for everybody's well-being. It's anonymous, you can report to us, and we'll investigate. They can tell us the name if they want to, we can keep it confidential. Tom may further express it. See something, say something. We're trying to get that information to go both ways. And you push about up to the top, you open up on you a little bit. There's all the information that you see about campus closing. We'll go over all this information with your sons. nephews, people you care about. Any questions for me from the public safety side? I've spoken to you all along today. I want to thank you for trusting us with your son, the most valuable possession. Not a piece. I know some of you have a long way to travel. Some of you not so far. So, I'll thank you for your time.
All right, the next two presenters are people you probably got to meet or someone in their office when you came in, is the financial piece of this educational puzzle. So first is Kuwik, our Associate Director of Financial.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming today. I see a lot of familiar faces, so I know I've spoken to a lot of you parents already. First thing and most important thing with financial aid is if you expect us to share information about your son's account, you have to have FERPA on file, okay? You're considered a third party, even though you're the parent, you're probably paying the bill, you probably did all the financial aid, and we understand that, but unfortunately, we are bound by law. You go to the doctor, you have HIPAA. You come to financial aid or the business office, you must fill out FERPA. Okay? As long as we have that on file, we will share information with you. If it is not on file, we cannot share accounts, financial aid awards, any of that information. The student has the right to his privacy. Okay? So when you get home, if you can, fill out that FERPA form. Okay? Also, every student that is utilizing the option of financial aid was awarded a student loan. If you do not want that student loan, all you need to do is let us know. However, if you want that student loan, you need to fill out the paperwork, okay? There's some information on the table on how to fill it out, or you can send your son to the financial aid office, and we will help them with it. Doesn't take us long to do it. However, we must have it on file. Generally, about 2 to 3 weeks after school starts, we start pulling that loan money off the account because we don't have the paperwork, okay? If you have questions about it or concerns, you absolutely can come and talk to us. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. We work all summer long, so we're trying to make ourselves available as much as possible. Scholarships, they're done for this year, okay? They came out in January, they end in April. However, this coming January, there will be internal scholarships posted on the student's website, okay? Very important. A lot of these students overlook this. They're busy with school, they're busy with football, they're busy with activities, and they don't really put any time into it. We kind of ignore it. This is very important. These are internal scholarships. They're very easy to get. You write an essay, okay? It kind of lessens the burden and the struggle for financial aid, okay? If you're unsure, give us a call in January. We'll answer your questions if the student hasn't brought it to your attention. Again, I'm telling you today. So if you don't hear anything in January, give us a call. Any one of us in our office will be more than happy to assist you, to assist the student in getting it done, okay? There's another piece of information out there that we just received in financial aid. It's called PA Forward. It's like a student loan or a Parent Plus loan, but it's through the state of Pennsylvania. I'm thinking, after looking at the pros and cons, it's a pretty good deal, okay? So if you're not interested in the Parent Plus loan and are looking for something maybe a little bit different, come and talk to me. I'll help you with it. It's not just for PA residents, it's for out-of-state students as well. But it may help you with any shortfall that you may have on the account, okay? What else? Oh, October. Although they'll be starting school in August, we have to do our FAFSA in October, okay? I know it seems kind of quick, but again, we're filing prior aging. We're going to use 2018 taxes. So for the football team, the financial aid office gets a computer lab, and we bring the whole 120 football players in, and we do FAFSA with them, okay? If you would prefer to do it yourself, that's absolutely fine, but If you don't, we're here to help, and we're pretty good at what we do. So if you don't want to do that FAFSA alone, by all means, let them come into our computer lab, and the coaches will notify them. We do offense one day, defense another, then we go back and we do the offense that we missed, and then again the defense that we missed. It takes a couple of days, but we're more than willing to help them. And we'll make sure we get it right. All we ask from you is to be available. Username and password and tax information. We need that over the phone, okay? Did I forget anything? Okay, so any questions, any concerns, issues? No, we're all good? All right, well, thank you for coming today, and I appreciate your time.
I would definitely suggest anyone takes advantage of Miss Ann and her awesome skills for putting together a FAFSA. She can usually work FAFSA in 8 minutes. Okay, where I know as parents, it can take a lot longer, but if she has the info she needs, is an ace, so definitely use that. Next, from our student accounts department is our bursar, Jeanne.
Hi everyone, welcome. We're so happy to have you. We're really excited for the students to be back and to hear the bustle of them in the hallway. It really is actually fun. But all of you that are here today have probably, if you had a balance after financial aid was applied on your account, it's spoken to me or Arlene to get cleared to move in. So you know what you need to do with your balance going forward. If you did use the payment plan that we have, I just want to, the next payment is due August 15th. 15th is the due dates. We do notify the coaches when we don't receive payment by the due date. There's a 5-day grace period, and the student athlete is not allowed to participate until their account is then made current. So if you don't make that payment on a timely basis, you might get a frantic call from your son saying, I can't play, call and make that payment now. So that leads us back to the FERPA, where you have to have your son has to do the FERPA. It's not the parents that go and do it. It's son giving you permission to see their account information. So it's on the portal where they grant third-party permissions, but it's the son that gives the permission. The parent doesn't go and do that. So just so you know. Another thing I want to know is that we do not mail paper invoices. So there's a piece of paper over there that talks about a parent PIN that's separate from the FERPA. It gives you access to our CashNet website where you can make payments and view the e-bills that are sent monthly. Just so you know. So that is something that's also, the son has to do that. Everything has to be initiated by the student because it is the student's account, even though the parents may be making the payments. Other than that, we're in this building, room 113. We're 8 to 4. We want to help you with any questions that you have, so we're always available. Have your students come to us, call us. We're here to help you. We do have a refund policy once classes start. That until the end of the second week of scheduled classes, you would be refunded 100% of the tuition and fees room and board. That's if something happens and the student doesn't stay. But after that, you would be responsible for portions of the tuition and fees. That paperwork is all over there too. So I'm going to go back to my office now. If anyone needs to see me, I'll be there until the end of the session. But welcome and congratulations. We're real happy to have you here.
What we refer to as the student services piece of the program. And I always say we're kind of the yin to the yang of the academic. We support that academic side. So everything that our faculty are going to do to make sure that your son, grandson, brother, whatever is successful here, we have all the support available. So the first person who we want to introduce to you to tell about the services available in our student wellness department is our executive director, Marsha Pigga.
Good afternoon, I'm Marsha Pigga, and I'm the Executive Director of Student Wellness, and I'm also the Title IX Coordinator here at the college. So I'd like to tell you a little bit today about the services we offer through Student Wellness. I do have brochures in the back, so feel free to please pick some of those those up. It'll give you all the information that I'm going to review with you today. As well, I will be in all the college 101 classes for the incoming freshmen, sharing in greater depth and detail about the services and supports we have through student wellness. Our mission of student wellness is to engage, educate, and empower our students. Our goal is to promote their overall wellness for their personal effectiveness, as well as the wellness of the collective college community. We like to engage students. We want them to explore the attitudes, the skills, and the resources that they need not only to succeed in the classroom, but also to succeed in life for their own personal growth and wellness. We like to educate them on healthy lifestyle choices. So we talk about things like prevention of drug and alcohol use and abuse, mental health issues, and prevention for sexual misconduct. And we empower them to enhance their wellness in a variety of areas. So we look at wellness in areas such as social wellness, emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, financial wellness, and intellectual wellness. Student wellness is designed to address issues of adjustment to the college experience. So these are some typical issues, but it's not an exhaustive list. So some of them that we see are students are homesick. We see that a lot in the beginning, and we can help them to overcome some of those feelings of homesickness. Just even adjusting to living with their roommate, to getting along with others, to the transition from high school to college, because there's a lot of different demands. Time management, financial stressors, substance use, homelessness, social pressures, anything that will come up for them that will affect their personal growth and their effective success here at the college, we can help them. I tell them when they don't know where to go for help, just come to Student Wellness. We're connected with a lot of resources within the college as well as the local community to help them. We offer support assessment referral services for all of our students. So students have difficulty, they can come to us as much as they like, once, twice, all semester, weekly. We're there to help, and we will support them to overcome those difficulties. And if they need services outside of the college, we will connect them to those services. So we will not just say, here's a phone number, you need some mental health, substance abuse services, victim services. We will make that phone call for them. We will facilitate that referral. We will help them in their journey. So if they're receiving services outside of the college, we will check in with them to make that they're not having those services or sessions. And we will make sure that they're doing well and everything's going well for them. Our limits of confidentiality, it is free, it is confidential for students. There are a couple things that we cannot keep confidential, such as if they have thoughts of harming themselves or somebody else, there's elder abuse or child abuse, or there's a court order for us to speak on that student's behalf. Those are the circumstances that we cannot keep confidential. Other than that, for us to talk with coaches, advisors, other staff, faculty, or even to talk with who, we would need their permission to do so. So how do we know, how does your student know if they need student wellness services? I always ask students to look at how their current skills that they're using to cope with that difficulty are working for them. So if they're not working really well, maybe we just need to give them other tools in their toolbox to utilize. I always say the only tool we have is a hammer, we're going to use the hammer, right? So I like to teach students other ways and other skills that they can handle and manage conflict or problems. And I also tell students, look at their daily functioning. If they're not successfully functioning throughout their day, such as if they're not getting to class on time, they're not getting their work done, they're losing their concentration, they're having difficulty eating healthy or sleeping the appropriate amount of time, they're lashing out, having difficulty in their relationships, then come to student wellness. They might not know what's going on for them, they might just feel a little off, but it's our job to help them to figure out what's going on and to overcome those difficulties. We do drug and alcohol assessments and group education for students who have issues with drug and alcohol. We also have free anonymous online screenings on our portal page, so students can go on and do mental health screenings, and then that will give them immediate feedback should they have any more serious concerns regarding mental health issues, and it would also give them resources that they can utilize. And we do life skill building groups during our free period on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Students have about a 45-50-minute free period where they can go to clubs or attend some workshops and groups, and we will do workshops on life skill building. So things like, managing your emotions, building healthy relationships, goal setting. How does Lackawanna view the participation? Very favorably. So students share, if students share with anybody at Lackawanna that runs student wellness, they're going to say that's great. That's a sign of strength, not weakness. So, be encouraged as a collective college community, students to utilize the supportive services. And I think a lot of students get fearful that if they come to student wellness, that information is going to run their transcript or follow them in some way because life happened, or they had an obstacle or a difficulty. And that's not the case at all. It is free, it is confidential, and we do encourage students to use the service as much as they need to. We do have an educational web-based platform on our portal page, so students can make a referral, they can call, they can text, they can stop in our office, they can go on the portal and make a referral requesting services for student wellness. And then our educational platform on the portal, all those wellness areas I mentioned in the beginning, there's fabulous resources, interactive videos, assessments, all kinds of great things that your student can look on the portal and get all that wellness information even on their own. So the other part of my position here is Title IX coordinator, and Title IX is a federal civil rights law that prohibits discrimination based on sex in any federally financed institution. So this includes sexual misconduct such as sexual harassment, sexual assault, stalking, dating violence, interpersonal violence, and gender-based violence. So my job as Title IX coordinator is to address those issues immediately, remedy its effects, and prevent its reoccurrence. Some of my responsibilities are receiving and investigating promptly and effectively all those reports of sexual misconduct, training and educating our staff, faculty, and students on Title IX issues, reporting all those incidences according to our mandated reporting policies, and maintaining the confidential records for those. We also have, as Director Schoener had said, the tips report incidents, so right on the portal page, students, if they know something, hear something, we want them to say something and do something. So they can go right on the portal page and report anonymously any incidences of sexual misconduct. So we're essentially here Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. I have a student wellness program coordinator that works with students as well. That person is in Suite 105. I am in 102. They can call, stop in, email, schedule online. I am 24/7 as well for the college for any kind of emergency mental health consultations for students so that we can get them safe and get them the help they need, should it be any time after hours. And again, our brochures are in the back, so please, feel free to take a brochure. If you have questions, I will be here afterwards to answer or talk with anyone who might have any questions or concerns, as well as contact me at any time, because this is a lot of information, and you might leave today and think, I really want to know more about this area of wellness. I'm available to answer any questions. Do you have any questions now that I can help with? Okay, thank you for your attention and your time today.
Okay, we are almost at the end here. What we're going to talk to you a little bit about today are the other student support services. So within the Student Success Department, we have academic advising, our transfer services, academic coaching, our tutorial services, a writing center. There's a lot of help available. The most important thing is students have to ask for it. We can't help someone if they don't come to us for the help. So the first thing we talk about that is most important to make sure that students can graduate is our advising program. We have a very strong advising program. Nick is an advisor in the center along with me. You heard from Rick Barone, where Rick said that he is that academic advisor. We kind of refer to Rick as the frontline advisor. He's out there day to day, checking, making sure, how's it going today? Did you get to class? You didn't get to class. What's going on? Are you having a problem in class? For the registration piece and making sure that the students are taking the courses that they need each semester, that falls to me and Mrs. Duda, Denise Duda. She is not just the coach's wife, okay? He may tell you that, but
He's my husband.
right, exactly. When it comes to the academic piece, it's definitely, that's the lady that we need. But Mrs. Duda and I pretty much handle all of the registrations for the football students, and we will meet with them in groups, just as Ann Kuwik said with financial aid. We do the same when we're getting ready to register. We'll bring them in offense, defense, anyone we missed. Any balance that they have has to be paid in full before, or arrangements have to be made before we can schedule a registration for the next semester. But we will ensure that they're in the classes that they need for the next semester, and then keep them on track for graduation. As Theresa mentioned in the registrar's office, sometimes the student falls behind a course, things happen, they end up needing to withdraw from a class, or they need some of that additional work. So we will definitely be working with your son early on to make sure that they're aware they might need a summer class. we may be suggesting 18 credits in a semester, but again, our goal is to make sure that they can complete their degree in that timely fashion to then move them on to the next step. We do have transfer agreements with many, many schools. That's another piece of what we do in the Student Success Center. Very often when it comes to transfer for athletes, though, that's handled usually more by the coach, the coaching staff. But I mean, we certainly are available to answer general transfer questions as far as how well courses do transfer. Our credits, if you're again checking between here and the college website, credits transfer everywhere. We very, very seldom see anything transfer unless it's a D. A D usually will not transfer to another school, but grades of C or higher will always transfer. So transferability is key. Mrs. Duda is really on top of that. She knows the best courses for transferability, and we have built the program to make sure that the courses that the students are taking are designed for transfer. So we definitely have that piece of it taken care of. The other really important piece of student success that we offer for our students is the other side, the academic support, our coaching and our tutoring services. I'm going to let Mrs. Duda tell you about some of that quickly.
I'm not great with microphones. I just like to yell, you know. I was a coach at one time also, so that's why I can project it very far. But for you guys that did not hear Mrs. Nowogorski, my name is Denise Duda, and my title is Student Success and Tutoring Coordinator. Part of my responsibility is one of the Volk academic advisors, but more importantly is the student success side. What if your son is having difficulties within a class? All our tutoring is free, but if they need to reach out to us and do it immediately. There's so many of those students who come into my office maybe 3 weeks before semester ends and says, I'm failing math. It's a little bit too late. So if you hear that, and you hear that your son is struggling in any subject, please have them come to the Student Success Center. We're down in room 105, and that is free. Don't let them tell you they need money for tutoring. I've had that. A parent call me up and say, how much is that tutoring again per hour? And I said, no, it's free. And they go, oh boy, let me call my son. Because they're trying to get a little extra money, but it is all free, all our services. We also have an office right next to me is an academic success coach. She helps with those soft skills such as time management, organizational skills. And that's also free of charge. Tomorrow, and if you haven't already known, all incoming freshmen will be taking a College 101 class that starts tomorrow at 8:30. And we'll talk to them about that later today in another session. I oversee that program also, the College 101 classes. They're not allowed to miss any of those classes for the next 2 weeks. So please let them know that if you want to make that extra phone call in the morning. I know they have to be up for breakfast. Do you guys have any questions about the academic side, maybe that I just didn't touch upon or anything maybe that I missed? I know because there's so much information we just gave you and I realize it's all right, but we just want you to know the help is available and where to go and get it. That's the best information that we can give you. Okay, no other questions from that standpoint? Okay, well then next time you probably see me, I'll be pacing the sidelines, yelling at the officials. No, you didn't hear that.
Oh, that's my job.
I'm sorry, I'm second.
She has a camera in her hand usually.
Yeah, the camera keeps me quiet, so I'm taking the photos.
Just to build up a few of those things, as Mrs. Duda mentioned, that tutoring is free, that's a big thing. And then Anne, when she was here before, talked about the scholarships. Think about that. You know, even if you have any sort of an athletic scholarship, I mean, any amount of money in one of our internal scholarships can help pay for books. It can just help with some living expenses. One of the things that we do through the Student Success Center and our academic coaching is provide workshops every week. During that activity period that we talked about, that down 45 minutes or so where students don't have classes, we run workshops weekly. And they start with the very basic things in the beginning of time management and note-taking skills. Test-taking strategies. But one of the workshops that we will hold is a scholarship writing workshop. That's the hardest piece, and that's why students very often don't take advantage of a scholarship because they don't even know where to begin. It's a very simple application, but then one part of the application process is filling out or writing a letter, writing an essay. And that's what usually trips people up. So the workshop will be held, one of our English faculty members will oversee the workshop where she will help all students start to write that essay and then review that for them to make sure that it is something that is worthy for them. So definitely keep that in mind when we have things going on. One of the other things I just want to point out to you on the website, our residence life, I'm jumping on it, Nick, I'm sorry. Okay, if we get into residence life, there's a link to our academic calendar, which you are going to want to pay attention to because it does include the opening and closing dates for the dorm. So for this fall semester, you're going to want to take a look at that to see when we close for our Thanksgiving break, when the college will actually close and when we'll then reopen. Just to be aware of that. The students will get that information through Res Life, but again, it will be there. If you don't find it, that's okay. We know it's there. He's getting it, right? It's a handout, I think. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay, so the dates are right there through the spring semester. Again, of when the dorm will close. The dorms will close for the semester, the end of the semester, and then reopen in January, and then again close at the end of the semester when students have to be out of the dorm so that we can then start to clean and do everything we do while students aren't here. All right, so again, you're going to want to pay attention to those dates. Last thing before I have President Volk close it for us, again, we talked about the different literature that was on that back table. The one thing there that you might want to pay attention to is the book information. We do not have a mortar bookstore. We use a virtual bookstore, so all of the textbooks have to be ordered online. The directions for doing that, there's a handout on that table also that gives you all the details of how to order your textbooks. And the students will also have that. So just in case you want to get that, to also know what they're doing, yes.
When the information is mailed, is there like a general mail center that the students go to, or like we send something over? How does that work?
I believe it just comes into 501, I believe.
You send it, and you actually send it directly to the main building, 501 Vine Street. It cannot go to their dorm. It has to come through our mailroom. It won't be delivered directly to them. And if it's something larger, usually what happens is the resident director will give it to the students, say, hey, you have a package up at the building, and they can access it here. Just please, when I believe it's in their handbook, the resident hall handbook, you can read how to mail. The address is directly in there. If it's not up there now,
I'm not sure, but it would.
they will receive it also. They'll have a handbook that they can access all of that also. But it does, just so you know, it does come through this main address.
And we do have a mailroom on the lower level of this building, so if you are sending something, you know, the students can check that also. Usually the resident directors pick it up and bring things to the door for students, but you know, if they are expecting something from you, they can check also.
As far as the book ordering, so how do they get those books? Are you delivering those
Well, the books
to them?
will be mailed, you can have them sent right to them here.
Okay.
Yeah.
The same way the packet.
Same as
Okay.
that.
All right.
They're just right Lackawanna College and then their name.
Yes.
501.
You could actually, to even add one step even further, you could put their name, McKinney Hall, Lackawanna College, just so that you know that that's where it's going to McKinney Hall. You know.
Any other general questions?
As Barb was alluding to the academic calendar, please have your son pay attention to that academic calendar when classes go until, because this has been just a slight issue with them trying to get home earlier for a break. And they'll say to you, we don't have class was canceled. And they'll try to get you to come early so they can get home early. What happens is final exams are set in stone. And they have to take them on that date. And if they miss them, it's highly likely they would get a 0. So please pay attention to that academic calendar and reiterate that to them. And it's very possible an instructor will change a schedule, but they usually don't. So just so they're aware that, you know, it's important to get to those.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so we're ready to wrap up, and we'll let President Volk just give you some closing comments, and we're set.
So I know it's going to surprise you that your sons might try and get over on us a little bit, because they've never tried to do that to you. So yeah, so we've seen it all, just as you have, and so just help us as we go through this. We bombarded you with a lot of information. Hopefully what you have come away with is a couple things. One, we have a tremendous team of people here who really do care. They are really focused on helping your son to be successful, not just on the football field. We always want a winning season, and the coach will tell you, winning is everything, but academics is everything too, as well as the rest of the life skills that they'll gain here through college. We really do care. And so whether it's in tutoring, or it's in student services, or it's the business office, or financial aid, people will try and help. And so the other thing I wanted to leave you with is communication. That's very critical. We need to know, if you see something, if you hear something that your son is struggling, or there's some issue, or something they're communicating to you, they may very well be talking to Rick Barone. Rick is kind of like the dad around here for them, and he will give them that hug when they need it. He'll give them that pat on the back when they need it, and he'll also give them that little love tap in the rear end when they need it. And he will. He will track them down if they're not in class. He'll find them. But you'll sometimes hear those things too. And if you communicate that back to us, that will help us to reach out and keep things from happening before it gets too late. So the more quickly you can get issues to us, or the more quickly you can interdict from your end, that will help us as well. Because we know, they're 18, 19, 20-year-old young men, many times away from home for the first time, and we all struggle. Sometimes we have issues that come up, or things happen at home. There may be a death in the family, or a problem with a relationship or something. Let us know. Help us to help your son, because we will do that. That's pretty much all I wanted to leave you with. Is there anybody have any questions? Any other generic questions or things that we can help you with now? Not a thing. Good. Thank you all for coming in. We're looking forward to a great year. I hope to see you all at the bowl game in that first week of December, and we'll see you then.